All right, so I just got back from watching Civil War, the latest film from Alex Garland. He's directed movies like Ex Machina, most notably, also Annihilation, amongst others. And I was pretty excited for this movie. The trailer is really good, really phenomenal. I especially liked the tagline "All empires fall" because essentially, America, the United States of America is the world's superpower right now, or at least one of them. But no one would argue that. And so it seems kind of invincible, untouchable. And so we're kind of reminding everybody of the fact that all empires eventually fall, and America is no exception, is quite a thought provoking idea. So I was quite looking forward to this movie to see what it would be like. What vibe would it be going for? What would it be trying to say, and that type of stuff. And I'm pleased to say I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. This is a very well-made movie, and it dives into the topic of a civil war, a modern civil war in America, in a very unique way. This isn't like your normal action movie where our main character is like a soldier, or something like Air Force One, where the main character is a president or maybe a Secret Service member or whoever. As you can tell from the trailers, this is told from the perspective of the press, war press, and because of that, we as the audience, since we're viewing this through their eyes, we feel like we're watching these historical events happen with no control over them. Our main characters have no control over what's happening. They can only react and record, and in some cases, not react, which is something that's touched on in the movie. But I think that was a very interesting and unique way to do it, because we've seen movies like this kind of where America is brought down to its knees and we have like an action hero. No one in this movie is an action hero. So that makes the level of realism very palpable. And this whole movie is very tense. You're on edge almost the whole movie. But the movie is also kind of like it is self-aware in the sense that this is a serious movie, but it's not pretentious. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not a pretentious movie where it talks about, oh, how smart are we? I'll bet you never thought of this before. It does have its moments of levity where it's kind of self-aware and it's not trying to talk down to the audience and treat the audience like they're idiots. And one of the ways it does that is it doesn't really tell you in this Civil War who's right and who's wrong. There is no bad side and there is no good side. Both sides of the conflict are criticized. In fact, if you pay attention to the trailer, there's actually more than just one side. There's multiple factions fighting for control of the country here. And yes, there are bad people, there are bad individuals on certain sides of the war. No, there is no moment where someone accuses someone else of, you're leading the country in such an evil way and you shouldn't be doing this, instead you should be doing this. The movie kind of leaves it up to you to decide who you think the good guys are, if there are any. The movie's not really about that. The movie is more here to show you why war sucks and why humanity sucks. If you see real life wartime photos and images, and it all seems so far away. But this movie does a good job of bringing all of that home, bringing all of that to America, and showing all of this stuff in our backyards, in our cities. And it does a good job of reminding me, at least, that we're all human. And so there's no we can make the same human mistakes that other countries have. And you can look at all other countries fighting civil wars and all the awful things going on there and be like, wow, thank goodness that will never happen here. Well, never say never. So this movie does a good job of kind of leveling the playing field and reminding us. It's kind of like Oppenheimer in that way, where at the end of Oppenheimer, you're like, wow, humanity, there's a lot of awful people in this world. Civil War does that as well. As far as technical sides of this movie, the performances are fantastic all around. Everybody is really good in this movie. The directing, especially the cinematography, there are a lot of beautiful, beautiful shots in this movie that just took my breath away, and I didn't want to look away. I just kept watching the screen, eyes wide. Fantastic shots. And there's a lot of the soundtrack of this movie is very interesting. It's not what you'd expect, and that's the point. It's supposed to make you kind of uncomfortable. We're like, this is an interesting song to be playing during this part of the movie. But again, it's supposed to make you uncomfortable and kind of bring the violence and the war terror home to our backyards. So yeah, I think this movie, some people might not like it because of how much it deals with the press, and it doesn't focus on, these big aspects. It feels kind of disconnected from the conflict, but that's why I liked it. But if you're looking for another type of movie that does focus on that type of stuff, then Civil War won't be the movie for you. So I don't know exactly why else I think this movie might be divisive or controversial, but I just have a feeling this is the type of movie that would be like that. But what do I know? So yeah, if you're looking for a movie that isn't necessarily a fun blockbuster, but is technically a kind of a wartime road trip movie with characters that are pretty well written that you grow to like and pretty thought-provoking as well, then Civil War is in theaters and you can go ahead and check it out.